Hey, everybody. Thanks for being with me today for Grace with Paul Gray. I want to talk today about what God means when he says grace. Imagine a couple of your best friends invited you and 150 of their other close friends to their wedding and a seafood dinner party afterwards. It would be outdoors on the roof of the Oriad Hotel, overlooking downtown Lawrence, where I live, University of Kansas campus, and the Kansas River Valley. Just a beautiful, beautiful setting. The bride's family was rich, socially well-connected, and very attuned to high society's expectations. The groom's family were more blue-collar, hardworking, rough-around-the-edge folks, both friends of yours. You knew there'd be great wine and music and all the food you can eat and drink and music and dancing, a great mixture of people at the party, a wonderful time. You were really looking forward to it. Oh, and Jesus was going to perform the wedding. That'd be cool, wouldn't it? Well, a couple of hours before the wedding, a huge storm blew up. Roads were flooded, delivery trucks bringing the food and the wine for the festivities were washed away. The bride's father had a heart attack in his room at the hotel and died. Bummer, right? Except Jesus was there. Now, he was seemingly unaware of what was going on. He was taking a nap in his room at the hotel. So the groom and his groomsmen rush up to his room, knock on the door, bang on the door, wake Jesus up, and told him what was happening. Jesus kind of rubbed his eyes and got awake, and then he said, "Peace, be still." And the storm stopped. The flooded streets became passable. The sun came out with a beautiful rainbow, and it was a perfect 72 degrees. And he said, "Get up." And 3 floors away in another room, the bride's dead father rose from the dead and started telling how wonderful his near-death experience had been. They had a quick, fun, joyful wedding. Everybody was talking about what Jesus had already done. And even though the food and the wine delivery trucks had washed away, Jesus turned the water into the best wine ever, the equivalent of 720 bottles for 150 people. And he provided so much seafood, lobster, crabs, oysters, mussels, shrimp, mahi-mahi, everything you can imagine, and pastries and desserts and salads, so much so that everybody there ate their fill, drank their fill, and they took the rest to Jayhawk Boulevard and gave free food and wine to all the KU students and staff. Well, there was need for a weather change, need for a dead man to be brought to life. There was need for food and drink for 150 people and reputation saving for the socially conscious people. There was absolutely nothing the people there could do themselves to bring any of that about. But Jesus could, and he did. He not only took care of all of their needs, but he did it super abundantly, more than people needed or could consume. And he did it for everyone with plenty left over. Now, what was the point of all of that? It was preparation to show that Jesus is intimately aware of what we need. He not only meets our needs, but he lavishly provides super abundantly more than we could ever imagine would be possible and more than we can ever use. Now, those of you with some biblical background, you know, of course, that those are actual things that Jesus did. Feeding 20,000 people with a few fish and a few loaves of bread, providing wine at a wedding party, the amount that I mentioned there, raising people from the dead, loved family members and things like that. See, Jesus' grace covers everything for everyone. No limits, no qualifiers, no conditions to be met, no questions asked, nothing expected in return, just the best possible, free, lavish provision for all people. That's what God means when he says grace. Grace to all. We'll pick up there tomorrow. Hope to see you then. Thanks, everybody.